welcome to Pointed Logic Tarot. So I'm behind on a couple of review videos I wanted to do. So today I'm going to combine two books that I really like and want to share. This is primarily for folks who have children or friends or have friends with children. So I recently read the Seasonal Family Almanac and the Children's Forest, and they're both kind of like parent and family activity books geared more towards the pagan sphere. Now, I'm not pagan. I don't identify as pagan. I don't believe in magic, and I'm not raising my children with that. So, but I am, not raising them religious either, and am more trying to embrace the focus on the seasons and nature. And so these are right in line with my personal parenting philosophies and ethos. You do you. I just thought we would go through these two books, and I talk a little bit about what I like. Now, my kiddo isn't quite old enough to do most of these activities, but I'm trying to get ahead of the game and get a leg up on things that we can do as they grow older. So we'll start with this one. I bought both of these on Thrift Books, I think. This one was used and this one was pretty much new. And as far as used, it's just got like a little bit of wear. But I really like Thrift Books. So we will set this one aside and look at this one first. And I'm sorry, these are pretty big books. So here's my hand, these are coffee table kind of books. And they're heavy, and I actually like to use them on my bookshelf as bookends for a shelf that doesn't go all the way, is not filled all the way with books. So it holds up the rest of the stack. It's hardcover. And it's pretty newish. Copyright is 2023, so it's pretty new. I really like how this one is formatted. So here's the contents. Spring, summer, fall, and winter are all divided into 3 segments, so 12 chapters in total, I believe. Yeah. And then each section or portion of the season has a theme. Hope, emerge, blossom for the spring ones. Rise, trust, savor for summer. Gather, kindle, and honor for fall. And give, dream, and love for winter. And the other thing I like about this book is it isn't super pagan-y, or even talk about witchcraft or any of that kind of stuff. It does say on the title, embrace the magic of the year, but it's very neutral and it's pretty secular, and I think that's one of my, preferred things about it. It gives you an instructions on how to use, and it has a little key, which is useful for me because I am vegan, so it flags which are the easiest to veganize, and sort of the activity, the level. There's little inserts from folks. There's quotes. There's information on how to do a land acknowledgement, and I like this because it's way better than the frankly superfluous and virtue signally land acknowledgements that you most of the time see people do, because they do them for the audience to have an opinion of them rather than to really truly acknowledge the land, in my opinion, personally. Obviously, I'll put some links down below. You should look up whose land you're living on, and there's some really useful resources that I can include. But I feel like this land acknowledgement, because it's more for you and your kids, is more authentic. So I liked that. There's some moon stuff, I probably wouldn't do this with my kid, but I do, whenever I take them outside, if the moon's out, I point out what phase of the moon it is. I do really like these. There's lots of good stuff for the parents in here. Lots of pictures. There's a nice, like, what to give your kid for a first aid kit, you should have on hand. So if you are new to spending time outside with your family, like I grew up in the rural area in the woods, so I'm pretty comfortable with it. I've also done a lot of backcountry work in my field and backpacking kind of stuff. But if you're new to it, there's some really helpful outdoor safety, how to pack a backpack, make a campfire, that kind of thing. So there's just some nice introduction stuff. And then we jump into early spring. You get meditations, you get an introduction to each section, and then you get recipes, tea, and you get recipes for like, why am I not thinking of the word? Not toiletries. You know, like soaps and perfumes and that kind of things. Bath and Body Works kind of hair detangler. Then you get crafts. I think the crafts look pretty fun. I don't think they are too like over the top. And again, there's like a difficulty level at the top of the page. So that's about what you get for a chapter. So they're not super long. So there's, in this chapter, there's 2 crafts, and then 1, 2, 3 body product type of recipes, and then 3 edible recipes. Oh no, 4 edible recipes. So this, you know, depending on the age of your kid, this little intro might be fun to read at the time of the season. And then, hey, kiddo, we're going to like pick a thing out of here that you might want to do as far as a craft, or if you want to make a snack with me, you know. And I think just as far as the number of things, you could easily do all of these things in a year if your kid was the right age and you were sort of dedicating 2 weekends out of each month or something to it. Again, it depends on your lifestyle, your family, how many kids you have, your activity level as far as like extracurriculars and all of that. Let's skip to, I don't know, here, mid-fall, because we just crossed the halfway point of fall. So that's the other thing, is it's really kind of, like I said, I'm not pagan, but I do celebrate the wheel of the year. And I feel like when I will use this with my kid, is I will try and align it that way, the Sabbats for the most part. So like there's a little section on Halloween. Making pumpkin seeds, minestrone, cake, cider, tea, marshmallow honey throat spray, pumpkin spice face mask, mugwort smoke wands, oh, this is interesting. I don't even think I got to this portion yet. I read most of this book, but this looks really interesting. I'll have to sit down and read that. Salt and oral care. Koreans refer to the autumn as the season of high skies and plump horses. This looks super neat. Paper mache unicorn horns, and then you get to late fall. So the number of recipes versus crafts varies for each chapter, but the sort of like chunk you get, what is it? 20 pages? 10 pages? That's like 17 pages. And then there's a ton of really great references too. At the back. Your checklist. Very useful. And then these I'm definitely going to look into further reading here. So that is Seasonal Family Almanac. It's a fairly new book that just came out. I highly recommend it. And like I said, I've read through most of it, but I haven't done any of the activities yet because my child's a little young. Although I think what I will do is probably, now that it's after Halloween and we're going to start getting into more indoor activities, I might start trying out some of the recipes and potentially even some of the like body products type activities. Although I will say I'm like, you know, your person with your like unscented hand lotion and that's it. Like I don't have a ton of body products typically in my house. Okay. Now, second book. This one is much more like overtly pagan. This is The Children's Forest. Let's see. This one was 2019. And this one does divide it up into the Wheel of the Year Sabbats. It's got a ton of useful resources and appendices. And then this one, the reason I really like this one is in the content, also it's color coded, which is kind of fun. There's a lot of folklore stories written here. For example, I just like straight up open it. I haven't dug into this one as much. I've read only the fall section. But yeah, so there's like a little, let's just start right at here in Invoke. So there's some introductory stuff. And then a little summary of Invoke. There's a lot of, something I really liked about this book so far is there's a lot of like, hey, sit down and be observant for a second. Like either looking out your window or sitting out on a bench. You know, what do you see? What do you smell? What changes have you noticed? There's, I think, some really cute and like, you know, cute, by which I mean succinct and kid-appropriate folk tales, and I think these will be fun when my child, you know, wants bedtime stories. Because I remember my parents used to read mostly like the Christianized types of folklore stories before bed, but I always really liked that. There's some more familiar activities, Bridget's Cross, for example. There are songs. I play piano and will likely play and sing these with my child. These are also introductory level. You know, it's just the treble. So these, if my child is interested in learning piano, these would be good to start with. So there's lots of little crafts, animal tracking, clay birds, how to make a magic wand, how to make a shelter. Is this an outdoor shelter? Yeah. Now, I will say, you know, make sure, I don't know if this mentions it in this book, but make sure you're using leave no trace values when you're doing outdoor activities. I'm pretty sure the other book did bring that up. I don't think so. How to use this book. So yeah, just make sure you're using leave no trace values when you're doing outdoor activities with your family. See, here's a sense awareness activity. I love these kind of activities. My partner does environmental education work and does some activities that are very similar to what are outlined in here. So, for example, he does an animal tracking class, and he does these kind of sensory awareness activities with students. So, oh, and here's some plant lore, a game, Oh, and then there's a couple recipes: nettle soup and tea, tree lore. There's the ohm in here, and I think there's ohm resources in the back too. Let's see. Oh, there's a Wheel of the Year. Yeah, here's the tree alphabet. Yeah, so there's a tree for each chapter. Which, I don't know if you are subscribed to Story Crow. If you're not, you should go do it. He has really great tree lore videos, and he also has Wheel of the Year videos, and they you can watch one after the other as they align and correspond. So you can watch the Imbolc video and then the Hazel video, for example, and he does the whole. Oh, there's a couple of songs in the same. So if you've been craving non-Christmas carol type songs for your Sabbaths with your kids, here's another activity, or here's another resource. The silver birch. And, I meant to say, when I read through the trees are speaking for themselves, sort of. So, this is Hazel giving themselves an introduction, and this one is, I am silver birch, tree of birth. As far as the actual content, there's not, I don't think, God and Goddess stuff in here, at least as far as I have seen. So it's still something I feel comfortable using. And I probably should have told you what these books cost. Hold on. But yeah, this one is just chock full of information. And as far as ages, I would say that this one, if you're just gonna get one, this one is a wider range of ages. It's for slightly younger, all the way up to high school. And this one is more limited in age range. I think it's for later elementary, kind of into middle school. But that being said, I am only a parent of a young child, so I am not the best at estimating age appropriateness, and 2, you can adapt something for any age pretty much, not always, but you can focus on the things that are the appropriate for younger kids in here, like the songs, and then as your child is older, you can do some of the more advanced activities, so I think that they both. Oh, I've done this. This is fun. Although I didn't use walnuts, I used oranges. Yeah. They're both great. And they're both, for me, really nice alternatives to a lot of the stuff out there that's, more Christianized. So, as far as cost... Ew, is this a British book? I didn't even notice. Hold on. Hawthorne Press. Yes. This is British. And so the price is $28.99 in pounds, I think. And this one is US, and it is in $35, but I did not pay that. I think I paid $12. Again, look at your local library, look at thrift books. I try to mostly check books out of the library, but I decided because these will be long-lasting activity books that I want to be able to, dip in and out of and do things over and over again with kids. I bought them. So that is the Seasonal Family Almanac and the Children's Forest. Feel free to ask me any follow-up questions about the books, and I can look inside and help you answer that question if you'd like. But I really like them both, and am excited to start doing these activities with my child when they're a little bit older. I hope you enjoyed and found this a helpful review. Yeah, I highly recommend both of them. I think this one's my favorite, but there's a lot of stuff to like about this book too. Okay, that's all for today. I hope you have a wonderful week, and take care.